everybody, welcome to this Adobe Illustrator tutorial brought to you by Tutorials. And in this tutorial we are going to create this gorgeous vector up icon in Adobe Illustrator, and this icon is the work of this very talented, very gifted UX and UI designer from Poland, Mateusz Jurkiewicz. You can follow the link in the description and check his latest works and maybe drop some likes here. And you can also follow the next link in the description and visit his site and discover his latest works. So let's start with a new document. Go to File, New, and create a large document. I want to be large, 1920 by 1080. Click Create and let me grab these colors and put it here on my new artboard. And before we dig into our app illustration, let me do a few things. First of all, I'm going to increase the row size of my layers so everybody can see them. Next, I'm gonna create a couple of more layers. I'm gonna lock this layer with my colors. Then I'm gonna create one layer with my rectangle. Then layer with my circle. And layer with my flower. And last step, I'm gonna cover my artboard with a solid rectangle. So grab my rectangle, give it 9020 by 1080 size, click OK, align it to my artboard horizontally and vertically, and set it to the new layer and drag it to the bottom on my layers panel, and I'm gonna give him this nice blue layer and lock it on my artboard. So let's create an icon. First of all, go to Rounded Rectangle tool and create a rectangle 350 by 350 and corner radius 92 pixels. Click OK. We have our rectangle and I want to align it horizontally to the center and vertically to the center. Next, go to your gradient panel. If you can find your gradient panel, go to Windows Gradient, keep it selected and give this default gradient. Then double click on this gradient stop color, black gradient stop color, and set it to 8% to achieve this result. And now we need to go to gradient tool, grab this guy and change the direction of our gradient from top left to bottom right, like so. So we have first thing in our design, and we need to create a smaller copy of this. Go to Object, Path, Offset Path, and here in Offset option we need to set it to -4. Check Preview. Yes, it's enough. And click OK. and go to gradient tool and change the direction to opposite by clicking on this icon, reverse gradient, this small icon, like so. And now we add some dimension to these two rectangles, because we have here something like highlight and here something like shadow. So we have our rectangle and we need to create a drop shadow. There are three ways to create a drop shadow in Adobe Illustrator. One of them, go to Effects, Stylize, and set drop shadow here. But this is a Photoshop effect and is the raster. What we want to create? We want to create a pure vector solution. Another effect is to create a duplicate of our original rectangle and set it to back and set it to black and go to the effect, blur, Gaussian blur, and make Gaussian blur. But this is also a pixel-based approach, and bulletproof approach is the create shadow with blend. And I want to show you the way how you can create the shadow with blend. So create a new layer and set this layer to the bottom of your rectangle layer and name it shadow, like so. Next we need to create with Ctrl+C, Ctrl+B or Command+C, Command+B, create a duplicate of this layer and grab this guy on this rectangle and place it here. So you can see that this square changed its color. Now we have our duplicate on this layer with our shadow. I'm gonna lock these original rectangles by clicking on this free space between airball and chevron icon, like so. Then my shadow rectangle is selected. I'm gonna give him solid black color and create one more duplicate. We can also toggle the visibility so we can easily now see our shadow rectangle and what's going on. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F to create another rectangle. So we have two rectangles and you need to set the bottom rectangle, go to transparency panel. If you can find your transparency panel, go to Windows Transparency and you need to set the opacity of your bottom rectangle to 0. So it's absolutely transparent now. Select both of them. You can see in my layer panel, so them both selected. Go to Object, Blend and Blend Options. Choose Specify Distance and set the distance to 0.2 pixels to create this effect. And next, Ctrl+Alt+B or Command+Option+B to create blend. You can also go to Object, Blend, Make. So we have our blend, but we can't see any changes because these two layers are stacked inside our blend, are stacked upon each other. If you click on this hover icon on your blend and you can access the bottom layer and you can move it like so. And now you see, let me toggle the visibility of our original layer, and now we see that we have our shadow in place. So I want to set the blend, go to my transparency panel, set the opacity to 20%. So we have now it much more softened. And I want to adjust the size and the placement of my bottom shadow layer, this rectangle, that's absolutely transparent. I want to increase it in size and place it here, like so. So it looks great. Now you understand why I choose this method, because its method is absolutely powerful and very flexible. Actually, you can make a long shadow, you can set it here, you can set it anywhere, you can make a short shadow, and so on. So its method is perfectly suited for this design, and this shadow is absolutely adjustable and scalable. So we have our rectangle and we need to create this circle. And because time is precious, and because our circle shares the same steps of creation as our rectangle, we can hasten a little bit our tutorial. So first of all, you need to grab ellipse tool, open our dialog box by clicking with left mouse button key, link between our height and width, and set it to 258 pixels. Click OK to produce this circle and place it here on our circle layer. Next we need to align it horizontally and vertically to our artboard and give it this gradient. You can simply sample the color from your original rectangle. Next we need to go to Object, Path, and Offset Path, set it to -4, click OK, go to our gradient tool and reverse the gradient, like so. So we have our circle. I wanna group both of them. I select both of them and group them. Oh, before we group, we need to create a duplicate. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V to paste it in back. Create one more layer here on my layer panel by clicking on this icon. Move it beneath our circle layer. You can name it shadow. Grab your duplicate below by clicking on this, holding on this square, and place it here on this layer. And next we need to give it this black color and make a duplicate with Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F or Command+C, Command+F on your Mac. And now select the circle on bottom and go to your transparency panel, set your transparency to 0, make it set your opacity to 0, sorry, and click both of them, Ctrl+Alt+B or Command+Option+B to create a blend, and then we need to assess our blend by clicking on this chevron, select our bottom layer. I think I need to lock all of these layers beneath so we don't interfere with them, and lock these original circles. And how my blend is selected, I wanna drag it to my bottom right and then click to my gradient, to my blend, I'm sorry, and go to my transparency panel and set opacity to 20%, like that. So we have our final result. I want to unlock my circles and lock my shadow, we don't need them anymore. And I wanna select both of my circles, original circles, with gradient and group them, and then produce a duplicate of this group with Ctrl+C, Command+F, and paste it here on my flower layer. And next I want to access this panel, width and height, link between them, and set it to 62 pixels. So we create a circle of our flower. Well, we have our circle and we're ready to produce petals. But before we begin, if you like this tutorial, please do not hesitate to click on this small thumb up icon. It helps my tutorials to reach more people, and who knows, maybe they can help them as well. To create the petals, go to your ellipse tool, click on your artboard, make sure that this is selected, so you link between your width and height, and set the width and height to 62 and click OK. Make it solid. I want to grab this color, this red square, this red color. If you following along, I will show you E96E68 and click OK. Next, I want to go to Direct Selection tool and click on this bottom anchor, so you can see that another anchors are hollow and this is filled. And holding Shift key to move it to straight line, move it like so. So it's kind of pointer shape now. And we need to next access our rulers. You can click Ctrl R or Command R to access my rulers. I have it here, and grab your rulers from here, drag it, and then align them vertically to the center, like so, and grab this ruler and align it horizontally to the center. So it now points on our on the center of our artboard, of this circle, and our composition. And now we need to drag our petal and place it like here. You can horizontally align it to the center. So, and our bottom point of this, let me scale it a little bit, of our petal is points to the center. Next step, we need to grab our rotate tool, or click R, and holding Alt or Option key, click on this bottom point and open the rotate dialog box and set the value to 45 degrees and click copy to produce this result. And I wanna give this petal a completely different color, for example yellow. And I create this petal for one reason: I need to place my shadow properly. What shadow? This shadow. So to place my shadow, I need to go to Polygon tool, set the number of sides to 3 and click OK. Then decrease the width of my polygon, like so, holding Alt key if you want to decrease it from your center, and then rotate it. Hold Shift key if you want to rotate proportionally, and then I want to scale it a little bit more, and I want to horizontally align to the center, and I want to give it another fill color. I think gray is should be great. Gray should be great. And I want to create one more point, so it's now a rectangle. And grab my direct selection tool and drag it like so. Then I want to drag my anchor like so, and drag the last of my icon like so. No, I'm sorry, I think I need to drag it like so, and drag these icons like so. And I want to control left bracket and control left bracket again and control left bracket again to set it between our yellow petal and our red petal. The placement is okay, and next step, I want to produce a duplicate of this red petal. Ctrl C, Ctrl F, and keep it selected. Holding Shift key, select your shadow, your future shadow. Go to Pathfinder panel. If you can find your Pathfinder, go to Windows Pathfinder and click on the intersect command to produce this result. And now we need to give it a fill gradient. Default is nice. Click on the black stopwatch. Set the value of your black stopwatch to 50% and set it to absolutely transparent. So you decrease opacity to 0 here, and now double click on your white stopwatch and set the value to 30% gray, like so. We need to grab our rectangle, our gradient tool, or click G on your keyboard and change the distribution of our gradient like so. Yes, it's okay. And now we need to change our tab to transparency and set the blending mode to multiply to achieve this result. So we have our gradient here. All is working like a charm, but I think I need to reverse gradient. Yes, I need to reverse gradient. Just simply think there is some mistake here. So it looks awful like right now, but don't worry, we need to select both of them holding Shift key, and with right mouse button key open this menu and click group, or Ctrl G on your keyboard. Then we need to go to our friend, rotate tool, and holding Alt on your center, click here and set the value 45 degrees. Click copy, and now Ctrl D, D to create one more piece of this petal. And next we need to ungroup all of them, because I want to give every single petal its own color. I prepared it here. So I wanna give this petal this color, this blue, mint, orange, and green. And we need to accomplish one more task. We need to hide this part of this green gradient. For doing this, ungroup this petal, your original petal, and Ctrl C Ctrl F to copy and paste in front. And then we need to Ctrl Shift right bracket or simply go to the object, keep your duplicate selected, go to object, arrange, and set, bring it to front, like so. So it's now in front. And make a copy of this petal also, of this green. Ctrl C, Ctrl F to create duplicate. Holding Shift, keep this selected, select both of them, go to your Pathfinder and click on the intersect command to produce this result. And now we need to, we can create something like that, but it will be hidden by our circle and we need to set it to the front. There is our circle, Ctrl Shift left bracket or Ctrl Shift right bracket, I'm sorry, or Command Shift right bracket to paste it in front. And we need to also grab this shadow. You can see it now, but we doesn't create a solid shadow. I'm sorry, we need to create a solid shadow from this circle. For doing this, ungroup this circle, make a duplicate of your bottom circle, Ctrl C, Command B to create a duplicate, paste it in front or in back, I'm sorry, and then I want to give it this gray. And next I want to, with my arrow keys, place my shadow apart from my original circles, like so. And last step, I need to go to transparency and change the blending mode from normal to multiply. And I think I need to select all of the circles and holding Shift and Alt key, scale it a little bit. So we have our final result. If you like this tutorial, please thumb up, subscribe, share it with your friends. I will come back to you very soon. Thank you for following today and I wish you a good day. Bye bye.